Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, interesting stories. First up, we got Buffett, or Warren Buffett, sees Bitcoin as a store of fear, not a store of value, says eToro's Yanni Asia, and this is a stark contrast to what he said before, which saying that Bitcoin was rat poison squared. Interesting. Also, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision and Bitcoin Cash are surging with their halvings a month before Bitcoin, and why this might be a good thing. Also, Bitso to use Ripple's ODL or on-demand liquidity to process 20% of remittances to Mexico using XRP. And also we'll go over the scam of the day. Now I want to say thanks everybody for who has contributed to getting rid of these scams, because 2020 is going to be a huge year for everybody, and we want people to come in a safe place. So thank you very much. But let's get to today's stories. First up, Buffett sees Bitcoin as a store of fear. And this was a fascinating story to me because Warren Buffett, he's a legendary investor. He's one of the most successful investors of all time. He is worth billions and one of the richest men in America. And he really just did it a simple way. He didn't do a lot of, hedge fund management and doing all these crazy investment strategies. He didn't do technical analysis. He just looked at the companies and he took a deep dive into each one and said, okay, which ones are actually doing well? What's their team doing? How are they? What kind of value are they giving? What are their finances looking like? And he would sit down and look at all different factors and just say, let's invest in these. And it seemed to work out okay for him. Made a bunch of billions of dollars, so congratulations. But his big knock as far as cryptocurrency digital assets is he came out and said that Bitcoin is rat poison squared. His partner, Charlie Munger, also said pretty much the same thing about how awful Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is. So there was a luncheon or a dinner or some type of eatery with Tron, Justin Sun and Tron, and he won a dinner with Warren Buffett, which was a huge deal for him because he wanted to sit down and pretty much tell him, hey, you're wrong, or at least try to convince him otherwise. And he invited some pretty respectful people in the space, looks like Charlie Lee's there, and just to sit down with Warren Buffett and see what they could come up with. But this was an op-ed piece, and it was by Yoni, who owns or is the co-founder of eToro. Matter of fact, if you look in the description below, I've got a link for that. You can sign up for eToro, get some good discounts and whatnot. But he talks about how he was so enthralled with meeting Warren Buffett because he was a personal hero of his, and what he got to see as far as like the insight to Warren Buffett. And there was just two paragraphs that really got into the meat of it. And I'm not going to read the whole page because it's kind of worthless. But what he talks about here is he says Warren believes in business that generate value. Makes sense. Bitcoin does not have these overt indicators, so he does not see the value of Bitcoin. Warren believes that Bitcoin is only valuable in the context of short-term market volatility and crashes, similar to gold. In his eyes, Bitcoin is not a store of value, it's a store of fear. He believes that investing in something that expects a market crash is not a good strategy. Warren believes in businesses that generate value, therefore he does not see the value of Bitcoin. He believes Bitcoin is only valuable because of fear of what happens in the short term if the markets crash, similar to gold, and that's very true. So Bitcoin is not a store of value, it's a store of fear in Warren Buffett's eyes. He believes that investing in something that expects a market crash is not a good strategy. However, he thinks that blockchain technology has value, but that no companies out there right now are using it correctly. The smartest people say it's an important technology, but no one is really using it yet. So lots to unpack here, but basically it comes on to this. Warren Buffett is looking at Bitcoin just like gold or digital gold, and the reason why he's looking at that is because that's been the narrative that's been pushed on everyone so far as Bitcoin. Now, if you're new to the space, you don't know that Bitcoin was primarily made for payments. It was used as a payment system, and people would actually use Bitcoin as payments, and it would zip around the world with no problem. Now, the problem with that is that these blocks are only about a megabyte in size, and when people started to onboard or come on to use Bitcoin back in 2016 and 17, it pretty much screwed up the whole operation because it was expensive and it was super slow. And very quickly people started to realize, hey, we can't use this for payments. This isn't going to work out because there's just too many people here. It's just too congested. Now, they've gone and they've done side chains, the Liquid and Flash or the Lightning Network, but it still isn't really being utilized as it should be. And so they said, okay, well, if we can't use repayments, we're going to use it for a store of value. So when Warren Buffett looks at this, he's like, that's not good because it's just like gold. And I would assume he actually does invest in gold, but what do I know? But he says that's not the big thing, and that's not why we should use it. So I understand what he's coming from. He's saying that it doesn't give value. However, I believe it does, especially if you're in a third world country and you've got an oppressive dictatorship breathing down your neck to take all of your funds, all your money, or you have hyperinflation in some countries in Africa. It could be a very big boom. It could be a very big something that can be used very effectively, and it could be valuable. But he doesn't see it like that. He sees it like, hey, this isn't really a good thing. Now, I will say this last part where he talks about he believes that no companies out there are using it correctly right now. And I don't know what Justin Sun sat down there and talked with them, or Charlie Lee, or a gentleman from eToro, but there are companies out there that are using blockchain very well, and they have real world utility, and they are saving costs, they are saving time, and they're doing a lot of great things. And I don't know how he can come to that conclusion, but he just did. And it's going to play, this section right here where he talks about fear is going to play a part in our next couple of articles. So let's move on. Next up, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision and Bitcoin Cash are surging what they're having is a month before Bitcoin. This is a very long, drawn-out article, a lot of technical analysis, which I'm not a big believer in, just not. Some people, one of my subscribers says technical analysis is kind of like technical astrology sometimes. Now, I hope you TA people, your head didn't explode and you're blowing up right now. It's just that this doesn't work for us. Maybe we're just not as smart as you. Maybe that's probably what it comes down to. We're just not as smart as you. Okay, all I can just tell you is this: when you have something like these halvings coming up, so Bitcoin Cash has its halving on April 8th, 2020, somewhere around there. Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision, roughly the same time, and then of course Bitcoin Core, or not in my opinion, just Bitcoin, is it's coming up in around May 12th, 2020. So I'm not a trader. I don't like trading. I think it's dangerous. There's been studies out that say like 90% of people who trade lose money. On eToro, for example, it says 75% of people lose money who trade. So if you're a trader, good luck to you. I'm not a gambler. But if I was a gambler, which I am not, and this is something I would not do, but there's a term that says buy the rumor, sell the news. And sometimes, like when you look at these types of things, and we know it's going to pump. And I got to tell you, I've been seeing these prices of Bitcoin Cash. I mean, it's gone up like 270% or something crazy like that. Also, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision, which has gone up tremendous amounts. I mean, especially after Craig Wright said that he has these private keys, which he didn't have, as a matter of fact, but yet it still goes up. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And now I see it. So if you're somebody who can play the market, this might be a good opportunity for you. Not for me, not what I'm going to do, not financial advice, but I just thought it was an interesting article. Next up, Bitso to use Ripple's ODL, or on-demand liquidity, to process 20% of remittances to Mexico. Let's get into this one. This was an interesting article. So this is from Bitso's CEO, Daniel Vogel. And Vogel states that he hopes to catch as much as 20% of weekly remittances, a significant share of a market that moves $35 billion per year. And this is from around to Mexico, the Mexican corridor. Moving on, Bitso's volumes derive from the activity of MoneyGram, which already uses XRP for 10% of its transfers. MoneyGram has taken hold some of the biggest remittance markets, including Mexico and India. You know, India, small little place, about 1 billion people or so. And this just ties into our article we just talked about with Warren Buffett. This is utility. This is real world use. This is money savings. This is XRP. So when he talks about, when Warren Buffett said, no one's using it right, and it's just not really working for me. Well, it's working for some people. It's working for about 10% of the market that moves its money into Mexico, and it's going to move for another 10% moving down the line. And I've had a couple of viewers who have shared their comments as far as like XRP and moving money around. One guy said that he just sends it to his girlfriend like that. It's like instantaneous. The fees are low and he loves it. He sends XRP over, it transfers it over into the peso. She gets it within like seconds and then everybody's happy. And then what's great about Mexico is that the banks themselves, they have pretty good payments between each bank. So like our banks here suck in America. If you're not from America, our banks suck. And like I have an account with one bank, and to move a little bit of money from my business account to my personal account will take sometimes between 24 and 48 hours. And if it's on the weekend, forget about it. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, God dang, we can move. I can send an email from here to Timbuktu in 5 seconds, and somebody up there in the mountains of Nepal can get an email from me. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. But I can't send like $1,000 from a bank account that I own to another bank account that I own in the United States in under 48 hours. Are you effing kidding me? So when I see stuff like this, I'm like, this is real world utility. I'd like to see these things. This makes sense, and it's cost savings. So fantastic. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Everybody's happy. Moving on. The optimistic expectations arrive at a time when XRP hopes to move ahead with more positive news. And it talks about how MoneyGram. MoneyGram is one of the biggest users of XRP payment channels, we know. And last part here, I'll say the asset, or XRP, is central to the activity of Bitso, making up its most active pair against the Mexican peso. From now on, XRP will also see its price defined by the new futures contract on BitMEX, which may expand volumes beyond the relatively small spot market. So BitMEX, the CEO Arthur Hayes, he came out a little bit ago, and he was, first of all, BitMEX tweeted out and said, "Hey, we're really excited about these different futures contract for XRP." And then Arthur Hayes, the CEO, said, "Yeah, I don't know if XRP is dog shit or what, but I'm pretty happy to have it on there." And I just thought it was funny because I'm like, that's a pretty good line. It got everybody to talk, and everybody was either negatively or positively, doesn't matter, but it got people to talk about BitMEX, about these futures contracts, and I was like, that's a pretty good line. I mean, whatever. But I will say this, though, and I said this in the video when I covered that Arthur Hayes comment. If you are an XRP hater, you hate XRP. Me personally, I could care less which one goes up. Here is what I have invested in. I've invested in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Chainlink, Cardano, and EOS. So these are my 6, and if I talk about these a lot, it's because I'm biased. Just the truth. But beyond that, I don't honestly care which one goes up. If it's Justin Sun's Tron, fantastic. If it's Dogecoin, great. Tomato Coin, that's awesome. I don't care, because what's good for one is good for all. I talk about this many a time. If you're a Bitcoin maximalist or XRP maximalist or a Tomato Coin maximalist or whatever you are, you have to realize that this is a very small space. So if one goes up, it brings attention to the entire market, and that's great for all of us. When the water rushes into the harbor, all the ships rise, and that's what I'm waiting for. So if these things go up, I'm so happy. I don't understand why some people get so bent out of shape when their one major coin doesn't make it, or somebody else is talking about another coin. Calm down. Slow your roll and stay in your lane. Your coin can't do everything, okay? So that's just how I see it. But the big thing I want to take away is if you hate XRP and you're like, it's trash and it's never going to work, well, great. Here's your chance to leverage a ton of money and put a contract out and short it. 50x leverage, go right ahead. And if you do that, I would love to know how that works out for you. So put that in the comments below if anybody takes me up on that. That'd be interesting. All right, that is it for today. Thanks for sticking with me through the rants of a short video. I like to keep these short and sweet. If you got time, stick around with me. We're going to go over a scam of the day. It only takes about 2 minutes. And scam of the day, if you're not familiar with it or if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Every video, we take a look at these different scams that are going on. And the reason is because 2020 is going to be a big year. There's going to be a lot of people coming in, and a lot of people are going to get screwed over in scams. So we need to safeguard our community, because if one person gets scammed, that one person tells 10 of their friends. Those 10 tell 1,000. 1,000 goes to 10,000. You know where I'm going with this. So we want to make this as hospitable as possible. So to find the scam of the day, in the description of all my videos, there's going to be a nice bold letter, it says, or wording that says, scam of the day. And right next to the scam of the day is going to be a link. It's going to take you to this handy dandy Google spreadsheet, and it's just going to look exactly like this. So what we have here is there's 4 columns. Why it's a scam, scam video link, date found, and date removed. We started this January 14th, been pretty successful. We've gotten rid of a lot of them, and I'm really happy about that. But if you see in here where it says date removed, and there's actually a date in there, that means that scam is no longer around. So fantastic. When you see something like this where it's blank, it means the scam is still there. So what I want you to do, if you could help me out, click on the link itself, and it's going to take you to a video. Now, some of these, real quick, you might notice that in some of these it'll say like link broken or private video or removed or link is expired or whatever else. That means that it's going to say something like this. Once you click on the link to the actual YouTube video, in the description it's going to say come here and then give us all your money, and it's going to say something like this. So those I don't even count anymore because no one's going to go on after they see that. But these types of things where there's nothing in the date removed, we want to click on that. It's going to take us to the YouTube video. And what are we looking for? As far as scams go, we're looking for 2 things. First, let's take a look in the comments section and see if it's legit. Well, it looks pretty crappy, my friend. A lot of scam. And my mullet. And yeah, it's pretty easy to see. So that is just a red flag. That doesn't mean it's a scam. Just because a lot of people say it's a scam doesn't mean it's a scam. We need proof. And here's the proof we need. We're looking for an asymmetrical giveaway. You're going to see some type of trash like this. If you want to participate, it's simple to do. Just navigate to the XRP airdrop portal below to learn more. To verify your address, just send us 1,000 to 1,000,000 XRP, and we'll give you 10,000 to 10 million back. That sounds great, Johnny. Where do I sign up? You don't sign up because you just get scammed. So that's just no good. So what I want you to do is very simply just to downvote this. And then we're going to look for the flag. And a lot of times the scammers, they do not have the flag up because they're scammers. Just click on report. We say this is spam or misleading. We choose one, scams and fraud. And this applies the links from the video description. Of course it does. Next. Hey, this is a scam. And report. And that's it. That's all you got to do. So if I do this, it's just me, just some crazy nut that says it's a scam. But if you do it, now we're 2 people, and YouTube probably looks a little closer. And if the thousands of people that watch this video do this all together, then it's going to make YouTube go, wow, that's a scam. This one should be removed already. I don't know what the heck's going on. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic news. And the last thing I will say is this. Treat everything as a scam. Treat everything as a scam until proven otherwise. If you're ever in doubt if it's a scam, just go to the official website, just contact them. You can go say, hey, Ripple, are you giving away 1,000,000 XRP? No. Hey, Binance, are you doing an airdrop for 1,000 Bitcoin? No. Hey, Ledger, or Nano, or yeah, Ledger, are you giving away free nanos? No. So if you just have a little patience and just use your head, just go to the official website. If you have any inkling like this might be legit, just go to the official website, ask them what's going on, and then they will tell you it's a scam, and that's it. So that's all I have for today. I want to say thanks again for going with me through the rants, and if you like this video, stick around. There's going to be a couple videos that are going to pop up on your left and right around now, and I don't know what they are because they are curated for your viewing pleasure by the YouTube algorithm. I have nothing to do with it. And that's it. So stick around. If not, I will see you on